All right. Thank you, Russell. Mother Nature is unforgiving and life a fragile thing. When hiking, always hike with someone who's in worse shape than you. The Bears will know who that is. It was 3 a.m. It was the coldest, windiest, most miserable Saturday night of my life. 6 of us camping at 12,000 feet on cold, barren rock. You could almost hear Mother Nature whispering, "You boys drive up from sea level and camp at 12,000 feet? Gonna have to teach you a lesson." Thank you, Mother Nature. Appreciate that, Mom. And we did learn some lessons on that trip. Mount Whitney is considered to be the most dangerous mountain in California. At 14,505 feet, it's the highest range in the lower 48. On average, 1 to 2 people perspire every year on Mount Whitney. Half of all who attempt it don't make the top. So here we have 6 frozen souls, brave souls, all with proper trail names. We have with us Dr. D, Dr. Seuss, the Duro Burro, E-Man, the Snow Leopard, and Sully. Now Sully, sometimes we called him Old Man Sully, not because he was older, but because though he was a wicked smart engineer, sometimes he could be the absent-minded professor. That, and he loved his old gear. He's sporting a aluminum frame backpack from the 70s. And you can laugh at that because it was pretty funny, actually. And all this old ancient gear, his beloved Land Cruiser that he'd driven out. And so we had this whole cast of characters set up. Now at sunrise, Sully and the Snow Leopard emerged from tents with puffy faces, almost like a football with headaches, right? AMS, acute mountain sickness. We all had some degree of altitude sickness, but it was summit fever. It was the hubris of youth. Maybe it was overconfidence that drove us to the summit because recently we successfully completed El Capitan and the dreaded Hermit Trail at the Grand Canyon. So we thought we were ready. We went for the summit. We had no business being up there, but we made it. Against all odds, we made the summit, snapped some photos, and made our way back down the long haul back to base camp. So finally, after 36 grueling hours on the mountains, we're nearing the last bend when we heard the words you don't want to hear in bear country. Bear attack! Were we prepared for bears? Yes, we were prepared if what you mean by prepared is we knew 2 things. Number 1, the old adage, if it's a brown bear, lay down. If it's a black bear, fight back. That, and of course, we also had adequate protection. At least one of us had adequate protection. A bear horn. That we didn't even test. Not even sure if it works. But we had it, just in case. Okay, so we round the last point, and there it was. Sully's Land Cruiser had been attacked by a bear. The door peeled back like a sardine can, and fresh claw marks on the seat. All hands on deck. It's like, oh my gosh, is the bear coming back? Whew. So after the cortisol and the adrenaline calmed down, on further inspection, we realized what had actually happened, and that is Sully had left his door wide open for 36 hours with food inside of his truck. For 36 hours, every squirrel and varmint had been having a party inside of his car. It was definitely worse for the wear. I mean, imagine like a free buffet for 36 hours with every wild animal within a half mile. Come on in. And there's a keg in back, by the way. Later that night, over a hot restaurant meal with cold beers all around, celebrating our victory. This was our triple crown of achievement. We'd finally made it. But if part of us wished that there really had been a bear attack, you know, I mean, nothing involving life or limb, but maybe just a scratch or a scare, something to add a little more depth to our adventure. So in closing, I'd like to say, first of all, thank you, Mother Nature. Appreciate the lessons, Mom. Also, thank you to our small expedition. We couldn't have made it without everybody's support. Thank you. Oh, and as a footnote to that story, at that table that night, Sully stated with sober conviction that he would never, ever return to Mount Whitney. And to this day, you can bet he has kept his word, Mr. Toastmaster.